Have you ever wondered where really successful financial people stash their cash? Like, they don't use normal bank accounts, do they? What if I told you that there was a secret kind of bank account that millionaires use that made them way more money than your normal bank account? Would you want to know what it is? Well, guess what? Today, I'm going to expose where this bank account is and how you can have one for free and how it could be the secret to helping you become wealthy just like them. I know, right? Like, where do rich people stash their cash? Years earlier, when I had made my first couple $1 million, I started getting curious. I now had a portfolio of homes. I was really good at inspiring other people to take money out of their 401ks, their IRAs, equity in their home, and then to put it in the kind of deals that I found that gave them these really massive returns. And so I was getting richer as I did this. And I remember thinking, I now have a lot of money sitting in the bank, and there's something that feels stupid about that, right? Because you know how banks talk about being FDIC insured? Normally they're insured up to like $250,000, which basically it's like, oh, here's $250,000. If you put this in the bank and the bank gets robbed, or if the bank fails or something happens, we can at least guarantee you $250,000. But what if you had $1 million in the bank? Does that mean that you only get $250,000 recovered and the other $750,000 is lost? I'm like, I can't imagine rich people with loads of money putting their money in a normal bank that is insured up to such a small amount when they're so rich. So I started asking millionaires what they did with their money, and what I learned freaked me out. Now, before I give you the answer on where the wealthy are stashing their cash, I want to share with you why this was interesting to me. I want to talk to you about velocitizing your money. It's this idea that you work really hard trading time for money. And then when you finally get some money stashed up, you're either going to spend it on stuff and it's gone, or you're going to invest in something that can grow it. But you see, I learned how to become a multimillionaire with $3,300, and that's it. You see, what I did is I bought this very first house. It was a tiny little bungalow. It was worth $150,000. I could get it for $110,000. This tiny house only required a 3% down payment on an FHA government program. That same program exists today, and 3% then was $3,300. And so I literally took the little money that I had saved and I used it as a down payment for this house. And the reason why it worked out so well is that my wife and I, we literally fixed up this house. We lived in the upstairs, but we rented out the basement. It had a separate mother-in-law basement that when we rented that out, it covered the whole mortgage. So we were living for free. And because I bought it $40,000 below market, a year later, I went back to the bank and I said, hey, can I have some of that equity? And they said, sure, you can have a line of credit. It's called a home equity line of credit for $18,900. And so all of a sudden I possessed this checkbook attached to $18,900 of equity in my home, and I used it to buy this home. Now, this home was much nicer than the home I lived in, but I didn't care. It was 3,000 square feet. I was just gonna rent it out to somebody else, and that's what I did. I bought it $90,000 below market. I got a great deal on it, and I used this home equity line of credit from this first house to buy my second house. And that house, after I rented it, paid me $600 a month. Now I want to pause for just a moment because I want you to understand this. I took $3,300, which is pretty much what you see right here. It took me 14 months to save up $3,300. I put it in the first house. I pull it out and I put it in the second house, and then watch this. I did it again. The money in my second house, I pulled the money out of my second house to buy my third house. Well, just between these three houses alone, the first house now had $55,000 of equity, the second house had $85,000 of equity, and the third house had $60,000 of equity. It's over $200,000. I was already a fifth of the way to becoming a millionaire. On paper, I was worth $200,000 because of the equity in these three homes. But the truth is, the $3,300 I put into the first house was pulled out to buy the second house, was pulled out from the second to buy the third house. And I was like, dude, this is crazy. I'm making all of this money. I'm living for free, by the way, in one of the houses. I'm renting out the others. I'm making over $1,000 a month now, and I'm worth $200,000. And it's because I was velocitizing my money. The same dollar was now sitting in three assets simultaneously, and all three were making me money. This is very important because the secret of where the rich put their money, they put it in a special kind of bank account so that they can then take it out while still earning a return on it and start putting it in other investments like real estate so that their money is sitting in multiple places at the same time, earning returns on the same dollar. That's what we're talking about. So what is this mysterious bank account that the rich are using? They're leveraging a rare type of life insurance. And I'm not talking about like, oh, I'm gonna die someday, so every month I write a check to the life insurance company, so if I die before I plan, then my family, gets a stack of cash and we call it a life insurance payout, right? I am not talking about the death benefit. I'm talking about living benefit. And this gets a little bit weird because I'm talking about a way of using a rare type of life insurance policy to actually create not benefits for the dead when you die, but benefits for you living today. And this type of life insurance policy, which by the way, you can get for free. Like there's a link below to talk to this company that will get you set up. There's 7 major benefits of why rich people use this kind of bank account. Check it out. Number 1, when they stash their cash in this place, they're earning 4% on their money, and it's a guarantee. Like they get 4% no matter what. And it's like, well, inflation has been sitting around 4%. Now it's dropped to below 3%. But wow, that in and of itself is a way better hedge against inflation than a normal bank account that gives you what? Like 0.0 nothing percent. So I'm like, okay, this bank account sounds kind of cool. I get a 4% guaranteed return. Next, on top of that, they give you dividends that range between 1, 2, and 3%. So it's like, well, wait a second, 1, 2, and 3%. Let's just say the average is 2%. You put that on top of your guaranteed 4, you're now sitting at a 6% return for your money just sitting in this kind of bank account. That's literally more than 100 times more money than your normal bank account gives you. And both are free to set up. This was getting weirder. The third major benefit of this type of life insurance is that it allows you then to take your money out of the policy while still earning dividends and returns on it. And so it's like, theoretically, let's say you're earning 6%, but let's say you could borrow it at 3%. It's like, I get the money, but it's as if all of the money is still in earning 3, but I got my money out so that I can go and buy a property. So I'm like, wait a second. My money is sitting in my life insurance bank account earning me a return. Then I pull it out, still earning on it, and it's sitting in real estate. Now that's earning me a return. And then later I can pull the money out of my real estate and then basically go and buy another house, and now my money is sitting in multiple places at once? Well, I started to understand why wealthy people do this. The fourth benefit is that your money inside the policy actually grows tax-free, which is a big deal because where can you go and have your money growing tax-free at 4, 5, or 6%? Well, it's called a Roth, except you're getting all of those benefits now inside this weird, funky policy. The fifth benefit is actually why the wealthy use it. If you were rich, don't you think that you'd have a target on your back? Don't you think you'd have people that would come after you for your money? Well, the truth is we live in a world where of course that happens. So it's like, I want a bank account that's more like Fort Knox. Like think Swiss bank account. Like they're known for like ultimate protection, right? Well, it turns out that this kind of life insurance policy has a level of protection where government has no history of even a government being able to litigate a life insurance policy, let alone other people at all. So it also turns out to be literally its own Fort Knox. It's like one of the safest places that you can possibly store money. The sixth benefit is that it does have a death benefit attached. If you die, your family and loved ones get a payout. But even more than that, if you're using your money to buy assets like investing in real estate or buying businesses, then upon your death, all of your debts on real estate, for example, can get wiped out and paid off. Now you're leaving a bunch of paid off real estate to your family. And the seventh benefit is if something happens and you become disabled, this life insurance policy continues to fund itself. When I learned about this, I had to have one, and now I have many. I've been utilizing this strategy for over 15 years. I think it is literally the best kept secret of the rich. But the truth is, if you're poor and you got little to nothing, you actually want to have one of these, because as long as you're saving money on a regular basis, whether you're saving $25 a month, whether you're saving $2,500 a month or a couple $100 a month, this is a place where you stash your cash. You get all 7 of these benefits. Because it doesn't cost you anything, why wouldn't you do it? After all, if you want to be wealthy, you have to do what wealthy people do. For sure, there is a link below for you to connect with this company that are expert at setting up these free life insurance policies. I would go to the link right now, just drop your name, phone number, and email and say, someone get in touch with me. I definitely want to learn more about this. And for those of you that are actually saving a little bit so that you can invest, or if you're a loyal subscriber looking for hacks on real estate, etc., you're in the right place. I'm giving you one of the coolest hacks today. Stash your cash in one of these life insurance policies, and it will make you a more savvy investor, even if you don't even own property yet. Let's go. Click the link, get your free account right now. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I shared with you a little bit of how I house hacked my way to my first 3 homes. But if you want to know how I house hacked my way from then to become a multimillionaire, you're going to want to watch this video right here, because you can literally start with nearly nothing like I did and of course become a multimillionaire. Let me show you how I did it and how you can too.